What's up, guys? I can't believe this is a filter. I don't think that we're going to be doing the video using this filter, but it might be fun to do the cover picture like this. We'll see. Yeah. What's up, guys? Today we are continuing our 355 days of posting. So I've been vlogging every day, and today I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about white lies. And I know something that I normally don't put in the videos is that I do actually take the time to pray and ask the Holy Spirit to guide me and lead me before I create those videos for you guys. And I did that today as well. And that's one of the topics that came up was white lies. And I'm sure we could do a whole nother video segment on this topic just because it's such an important topic to discuss. I mean, I have a women's group that I belong to, and that came up as one of the topics this week of discussion was why is it important to be honest, and then what are some of the negative consequences of white lies. And the reason that topic came to mind was just looking at my own life as a young adult, and then as a teenager, and then a young adult, still struggling with the truth at times, because why do we lie? If we know it's a sin, why do we still lie? So Proverbs chapter 26 verse 28 says, "A lying tongue hateth those affected by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin." So that was pretty heavy when I read it, just saying that even if you think that your lying is protecting someone else, or it's saving you from injury temporarily, like it's keeping everyone's stress level down, in the word it says in the long run you're not doing anyone any favors. If you're lying to someone, you hate the person that is going to be affected by your lie. If you could think about a river, right? Like your words being like a river. Putting poison or something that's toxic into that river is what we're doing when we spread lies, right? They grow and they spread and they infect the people that are listening to the lies. And it can go beyond that, right? Because it's not just affecting the person that you're telling the lie to, but the way that the relationships that they have with other people as well. So like, even if you're thinking about in terms of relationships, or you're like, oh, well, I'll just tell this little white lie. It's better not to tell the truth because then someone could really get hurt. Especially if you're thinking about doing something that would require you to lie about it in order to keep from hurting people. More importantly than, trying to cover up what has been done is to try to make our actions above reproach in the first place, so we don't have to worry about what happens if someone finds out that I've done XYZ or said XYZ. By making the right choice to begin with, then we don't have to worry about lying to cover it up. And then at the same time, even if we have made a mistake, to be able to come clean about that, it saves everyone a lot of stress in the long run, because at the end of the day they still know that they can trust you because you were able to come clean and be honest about whatever it was that happened, whatever we've done to hurt someone that we love. As long as we can be honest about it, then we know that we can continue to have a healthy relationship that is based off of trust. If you're caught lying and you weren't honest, sometimes it's harder to rebuild that trust. And I'll be honest with you guys, unfortunately, for a large portion of my life, in my adolescence, in my young adult life, in my 20s, even in my 30s, I did struggle a lot with telling the truth all of the time, especially if I was in a situation where I thought my employer might be upset with me because it would be hard for me to reach a deadline, or if I felt like it might make my partner upset. Just lying to save myself from having an awkward conversation. But at the end of the day, the truth would always come out, and you look better. It looks better on you when you've been honest to begin with, instead of having to admit later that you lied, or having someone else catch you in a lie and then they can't trust you anymore. I know, like the first really memorable moment I had with that, my daughter might have been around 2 years old or 3, and I was at work and I had these reports that were due for one of my employers, and his name was Devin, and he asked me if the reports were ready, and they weren't ready. And I said, oh yeah, I think they're done. And in my head I was thinking, well, I'll probably have them done by the end of the day or by the end of tomorrow, and it won't matter if I tell him that they're done when they're not, because by the time he looks at it, I'll have it taken care of. And he looked me dead in the eyes, probably because not only is it not good to lie, but if you're one of those people like me who wears your feelings or whatever you're thinking all over your face, you don't lie well. So when I would lie, it was very obvious, and he looks at me and he says, don't lie. And I felt so embarrassed, and he just said, like, no matter what's going on, you can just tell me what's going on. You don't need to lie about it. And it just felt like it was just one of those moments where I had to check myself, right? To say, okay, I'm an adult. My being honest is not going to result in me getting a spanking or, in any consequence that would be worth losing my own self-respect, because it wasn't something that I was proud of. And most of the time, you lying isn't going to be something that someone on the other end of that conversation is going to appreciate. And if that's the case, then maybe we need to reevaluate our relationship with those people, because we want to be in relationships with people who want us to live in a way, like to live godly lives, right? We want to be in relationships with people that will encourage us to live godly lives, that are also convicted and feel called and are called to live godly lives themselves. And we can notice that by the way that they walk, by the way, and when we have friendships where we can encourage each other to do better, as my daughter would say, or to be better. But yeah, in the meantime, just to evaluate, take the time to think about why you're doing something, and at the end of the day, whose opinion matters the most, right? We want to make sure that we're doing things that honor God, and that, so God's perception of us is the perception that matters the most. So if I'm doing something, at the end of the day, I can't talk to my daughter about it, I probably shouldn't be doing it, right? If I'm doing something and it would require me to lie to my husband, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it. But I love you guys. I'm going to try to find some more verses on that for you. And if you guys have anything to add, please feel free to do that here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.